Perk, what about this Lakers team? I know you like watching them. Do you think there's anything else that they have to add?
It's hard to say, Rachel. This was the test. I was wondering. I knew they had a pretty easy schedule to start off the season, and I watched them, and I wanted to see how they was going to perform going into Denver, and I was like, wow, this team is really impressive. But it started in the preseason. When you watch these guys in the preseason, they were locked in. They were playing defensive. They were defensive-minded. You could tell they were on a mission. And like I always said, they have championship experience over there. So much championship experience. And going back to LeBron and AD, the way that they're playing defense right now, they're feeding off each other. And I think LeBron defense has picked up because Anthony Davis is leading the way defensively, and he's like, oh, I got to carry my load because AD is doing a great job. So right now, I don't see any flaws right now with them because they're so deep. They're so experienced for us championship experience, and the way Rondo been playing, and then you could go to Quinn Cook, and then even like Jared Dudley, he played in the fourth quarter, but he was ready to play.
Yeah.
Like, they remind me of the 08 Celtic team, just how deep they are and just the chemistry and the right pieces.
Do you remember?
No, that was me. That was me.
But also Rajon Rondo, to your point, who's on this team.
And he's playing great basketball right now. I mean, just Danny Green, I just don't see any flaws. Kyle Kuzma, like I always say, is the X factor. When he's focused, he's locked in, and not going outside his body, he's doing
Do you know
great.
what the Jazz's record is while playing a team on the second night? It's not according to Stats and Information in the last 25 years. It's probably about 510.
Meaning that when they get a team on the second night of a back-to-back, they tend to
always win. They've been winning in that building since it opened on the second night of back-to-backs when they have the rest advantage. Also, Denver and Utah were both coming off losses, which meant that they were very focused on trying to beat the Lakers. Damn impressive. Not only that, the Lakers had 3 or 4 guys who were sick. Okay, but the question is, do they have any flaws? I think that if they're going to beat the Clippers in a 7-game series, they could use another wing defender because you can't really ask LeBron to play 40 minutes on Paul George or Kawhi Leonard. So I think if they look at this roster, and of course we know what we're talking about. We're talking about a guy like Andre Iguodala.
Right.
Could they pull this off? Could he get bought out, which the Grizzlies say they won't do? Could they get a guy like that? I think their three-point shooting has been up and down, but they've got a lot of weapons. It's not fatal. I do think that is one thing that they would look for. But all in all, damn impressive Lakers showing to start this season.
It's interesting you bring up a wing defender. So going into this season, I knew they were going to be good with LeBron and AD, but I did have questions about the defense, especially on the perimeter. And I got some pushback of people being like, how could you even ask the question? This wasn't me saying they're going to be bad. This was me just asking the question, what are they going to do there? I have some concerns. And I want you to look at why. So take a look. This is the Lakers players last season. This is their personal defensive efficiency numbers, right? And Anthony Davis, obviously on a different team, but these are the main guys they're putting out on the floor, right? So those are the numbers. And when you look at those numbers, you have questions about what kind of defensive team this team is going to be. Now look at this season. We're going to put them side by side here. Look at how much guys have improved.
Look at Alex Caruso.
Look at that. Right? Look at every guy, though. Look at LeBron's improvement in defensive efficiency. Look at Kyle Kuzma. AD, obviously, he's in a much better situation this year. You'd expect those numbers. But down the list,
Avery Bradley's he's not on that list, but Avery Bradley's also been
This, to me, speaks to those questions coming in were about what defense is about, Perk, right? What is your commitment? What is your effort? Some of it is, can you physically defend? Are your arms long enough? Do you know where you're supposed to be? But so much of defense is want to. Yeah. And we saw this team, these players, not put that effort in all the time last season. And there was a question if they got off to a rough start, if they just maybe aged out and they couldn't do it anymore. And guess what? They have bought in, and I really do think LeBron is a big reason for that. He has not committed to defense this way in years. And him deciding to do that changed the equation.
LeBron's been on maybe 4 or 5 teams that have 58 wins or more, a couple of 60-win teams. I don't know if I've ever seen him on a team that has looked this good in the first 20 games, because historically he gets off to he sort of warms up. And that has not been what he's done this year.
Well, to follow up on your point, Rachel, last year they were playing for nothing, okay? Once Braun got hurt, their chances on making the playoffs, so really nobody was focused. When you coming in and championship, winning the ring is on your mind, Of course, guys is going to lock in.
Yeah.
You know, guys are going to lock in. Guys are going to be focused, and you're playing for something different. Last year was just like, oh, okay, let's just get through the season.
But they weren't playing for nothing, Perk, until the end. LeBron came back from the injury. He missed about a quarter of the season. That was a huge blow for them because they had been in fourth when he went out, and they obviously were much further. But they were playing for a playoff berth. They were fighting for that. Remember, LeBron said, I'm going to lock in now, and I'm going into playoff mode early. And if they had gotten into the playoffs, which he fully expected, and the Lakers told us at that point in the season when he came back they were going to do, he expected to get into the tournament and go be LeBron. And that didn't happen. And the fact that it's happening now, to me, says something good about them. That's something we should celebrate.
Yeah, but also, Rach, you got to understand, too, the second part of the season when LeBron came back, they had a tough schedule. And I think they had to win like 19 out of the 24 games, which was crazy. And they had a hard schedule. So, yeah, they're going to say the right thing.
Right.
They're going to tell the world the right things. But in their mind, or in their heart, do they really feel that way? No, I don't think they did. I don't think Braun was all the way committed. And we also got to give a lot of credit to Frank Vogel and his coaching staff because, you know, Frank Vogel, although he didn't have a good stance when he was in Orlando, but he had those Pacers rocking defensively. So for him to have AD and LeBron buying into his system and what he's doing is also amazing, too. And you got to give kudos to him and his coaching staff.
Absolutely, 100%.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports analysis and highlights, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.